winter is all of the elements that are associated with it are earth and water. And so we're trying to move the water, move the lymph, move in general to allow things to clear up again. Um, so we'll be doing a lot of breathing and movement to help with this idea. So I'm going to switch spotlights. Okay. So we're going to start with a breathing pattern. The pattern is one that we've done before that call it a three-part breath. It's belly, ribs, and then top it off at the top. So one, two, three parts through your nose on the inhale. And then your exhale is a whoosh, everything out through your mouth. Now, we've done that before. So what we're going to add that's new is a mudra, a hand gesture that has meaning or symbolism or, an effect. And your hands are like reflexology. Hands are part, windows onto the rest of your body. So you take your thumb and put it at the base of your pinky finger and then make fists. So just tuck your thumb in for fists and then fist bump your fists together. And then you have your elbows sticking out. You don't want to be scrunched up and your shoulders just down. And this helps open up your lower lungs. And it really does. And the lower lungs are associated with this heaviness and earthness. But I've used this breath pattern to after COVID to help with breathing again. And when I was hiking, backpacking in Colorado, when I was in elevation, this mudra helped me acclimatize to lower oxygen in the air. So we're going to do some three-part breaths with this thumb tucked fist bump um, mudra. So when you're ready on your next inhale, belly, ribs, top it off, and then out your mouth. Belly, ribs, top and out. In, out. Let's do two more. And then release the mudra, release the breath pattern, and come to stillness again. Notice what it feels like in your body right now. Could be tingling or feeling of lightheadedness or lightness or clearing. Notice what it feels like in your lungs, your respiratory system. Okay, and now we're going to do shoulder rolls, but slightly differently than we've been doing. Put your fingertips on the tops of your shoulders and do your shoulder rolls as big, making your elbows go in big circles. So a little bit more vigorous than we've been doing in the past. And because we want to get the earth moving from stillness and stability to a little lighter and switch directions. Notice any crunching, any corners or feelings of stuckness in your shoulders or areas where it might not be smooth. And one more circle. And go ahead and release. Notice what it feels like in your shoulders. Warmth, tingling, maybe soreness. Notice if anything radiated elsewhere in your body, your jaw, your chest, lower in your back. And we're going to do a seated twist slightly differently than we've been doing before, in that we're going to grab one elbow and trying not to roll shoulders forward. So grabbing an elbow, trying to keep your shoulders back. And we're going to twist both directions from this grab. So inhale tall and exhale twist to one side. Hold, maybe take a whole nother breath over here and release, and then twist the other direction. Trying to keep your spine long. Hold and have a whole nother breath, perhaps. Release when you're ready and switch elbows. Set up first, trying to have that shoulders back kind of a feel, and then twist in both directions again. So pick one side, inhale tall, exhale twist, and then hold or take a whole nother breath over here. Release when you're ready and switch directions. Notice how this side might be different than the other side, or this elbow might be different from the other elbow. Release whenever you're ready. Excellent. And then come to all fours or tabletop. And we're going to do spinal movement. It could be cat cow, could be whatever shape you are interested in, but I want you to consider trying abdominal churning. So it's either just sucking your belly in and letting it go, or if you know how to do a kind of a roll feel, see if your belly will do that. And while you're moving your spine, it's easier if on the exhales, and it's also easier if you haven't just eaten. Let's see what you've got. Either just pumping, sucking in and letting it go, or an actual kind of a roll feel. And then we're going to come into down dog or upside down V. And from here, let's have a moving dog. So walk your dog, maybe shift weight from left to right or bend and straighten your knees and breathe. And then walk your hands back towards your feet for forward fold. Again, having a generous bend in your knees, but maybe subtly try to straighten or shift your weight from left to right. Maybe nod and know your head. Maybe shift your weight forward and back. Or draw a little circle. And then vertebra by vertebra, roll yourself back up to standing. Yay, here we go. And just stand in your mountain. Notice what our practice has done so far. Okay. We're going to do standing twist. Some people call this palm tree pose. So cross one foot over the other. And again, we're going to twist in both directions. So bring your arms up and then hips, waist, ribs, and then hold, or maybe even take a whole nother breath. Release and then go the other direction. Hips, waist, ribs. Release. Switch your cross. Put the other leg in front. And also switch your hand grip. If you gripped like that last time, then switch your grip. So inhale with your switched grip. And we're going to go both directions again. So hips, waist, ribs, one direction. Hold or take a whole nother breath. Release. And then hips, waist, and ribs the other direction. Hold. Go ahead and release and shake it out if that feels good. Excellent. And we're going to move into a lymph massage, focusing on 6 areas where the lymph nodes are concentrated, starting with your collarbone. So tap under and over your collarbone, and then draw little circles above and below. And then brush, a little sweep action, just gently getting lint off. Then move to your neck. And if you've ever had swollen glands, those were actually lymph nodes. So your neck, or well, all of your lymph nodes drain lymph, which could be white blood cells or bacteria or whatever, needs to be evacuated from your uh, system. Through a lot of it gets pushed through your lymph. Okay, so um, tap two. Did I start with rubbing? Tap, rub, and sweep. So make sure you do all three. Apparently, it's hard for me to talk and do this at the same time. And brush. And then it's armpit area, particularly in the front part of your arms. And if let's do one armpit at a time. If you know anybody who has had breast cancer, they pull lymph nodes from here. Your breast tissue goes all the way up into your armpit. So tap first, and then rub circles and brush, and the other side as well. Tap, circles, and brush. And then belly, so around your belly button, particularly above your belly button. And your lymph system doesn't have its own pump. So sometimes it helps to get lymph to circulate by a little lymph massage. So little circles and brush. And then your hip crease. So where your legs attach to your torso, tap there. And then circles and brush. And then the backs of your knees, tap, circles, and brush. And while we're here, let's brush our whole leg from ankle to hip and the other leg and then arms and torso. Awesome. And then come to stillness again. Notice what a lymph massage does. Again, maybe feelings of tingling or circulation. It's possible to have unpleasant, maybe a taste. And notice. Okay. And we're going to move on to moon salutations. So come to the front of your mat. And this is one of the patterns that does not have a lot of options, but we are going to do variations within the pattern. The first one will go slow and hold for multiple breaths. So when you're ready, from the top of your mat, inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, reach for your toes, and let's hold this forward fold. And notice how this one is different already from the one where we started our practice. And again, maybe sway or bend and straighten or just make it yours. Maybe nod and know your head. And then on your next inhale, come into half forward fold. Find a little bit of traction. And then hands down, right leg back for lunge. And see if you can energetically pull your feet apart from each other and drop your hips a little bit closer to the ground. There might not actually be any movement, but just the sense. And then right knee down, torso to vertical for low lunge with knee down. And add arms if you want to accentuate the stretch on the right side. And keep breathing. And then hands down, knees together, lower down, and then cobra. And maybe shift your weight left and right in your cobra and stretch your obliques and lower belly a little bit. And then back into puppy and hold our puppy for a few breaths. And then come through tabletop to bring your right knee forward for low lunge with a right knee lead. Add arms if you feel like it. And then hands down, back knee off the ground, lunge. Energetically pull your feet away from each other, allow your hips to drop. And breathe. And then when you're ready, pop your feet together for half forward fold. Reach for your feet, full forward fold. Reach for the sky and arms down. Okay, we're going to Do it again, adding on. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, hands down, right leg back for lunge. Inhale, knee down, torso to vertical, add arms. Exhale, knees together, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, puppy. And then come to standing on your knees, and we're going to twist both directions again. You can either have your arms parallel to each other or do a grab, either way. And we're going to twist in both directions. So inhale tall, exhale hips, waist, and ribs. Hold for maybe another breath and release. And then we're going to go the other way. Hips, waist, and ribs. Inhale tall. Exhale, hold and release. And then right knee forward for lunge. Add arms if you feel like it. Hands down, back knee up. And an exhale, inhale, feet together, half forward fold. Exhale, full forward fold. Inhale, stand up, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Let's do it again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, hands down, back knee up. This time, put your right hand down, left hand to the sky for a twist from your lunge. And breathe. Let's hold for a couple breaths here. And then hands down, back knee down, torso to vertical. Hands down, knees together, lower down. Cobra, puppy. Right knee forward for lunge. Hands down, back knee up. And then stay here, left hand down, right hand towards the sky for a twist to the right. And breathe. One more breath here, then hand down. Pop your feet together for half forward fold. Exhale, full forward fold. Inhale, stand up, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Let's do one more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, right leg back. Inhale, knee down, torso to vertical. Exhale, knees together, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, puppy. And then go ahead and stand on your knees again and press in right here. It's kind of in line with your nipples, for lack of a better, below your ribs. There might be a tender spot right there. Those are two acupressure points in Ayurveda. Those are called marma points or marmani. And do a little massage, little circles right there. It might be sensitive. These are acupressure points for liver and spleen and helps get things moving again. Releasing things. Okay. Then right knee forward. Inhale, exhale, hands down, back knee up. Inhale, feet together, half forward fold. Exhale, full forward fold. Inhale, stand up, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Okay. From here, take a giant step so that you're facing the long side of your mat. We're going to go into wide leg forward fold. And for wide leg forward fold, you want your feet to be parallel to each other, pointing towards the center of your space, not pointed out to the side. This helps you internally rotate your thighs, which allows you to fold forward more. So you want to start by folding from your hip crease. So maybe put your hands there and swan dive forward until your hamstrings won't allow you to go forward anymore. And then let your head drop and reach for the ground. Your feet should be about like the length of one leg should be about the width that you are. If you can't touch the ground, maybe you need a wider V. And if you're wearing slippery socks, then um, this might not be that great for you. Might not be. You might need to take your socks off so you can have the grip that you need for going into the wide leg forward fold. Maybe nod and know your head to make sure that you're not holding that head up. And keep breathing into your belly. Try to evenly distribute your weight throughout your feet. And then when you're ready, reach for the right foot. And if you want to, reach your right arm towards the sky. Either way, it's a nice twist. And then turn your feet towards the right for lunge again. So bending your right knee on your back toes. And then with strength, stay in your lunge and bring your torso to vertical. Drop the back foot, hips and shoulders towards the front, warrior one. But let's try eagle arms. Eagle arms is when you pretzel your arms in front. So let's try left elbow crossing underneath the right. So it's either try to stack your elbows and hands like this, or wrapping all the way around and then bringing your elbows up. And you should feel a stretch in between your shoulder blades. Go ahead and release, and then we're going to go into warrior three or airplane off of the front foot. So hop or jump or whatever over, teeter totter over, trying to bring your left leg parallel to the ground behind you, hips parallel. Do whatever you want with your arms. And if you're up for the added challenge, try 3 squats on your front leg. 1, 2, 3. And then come up to standing again. Yay, well done. Um, let's switch sides. So back into your wide leg forward fold. So big stance in between your feet pointed straight ahead, hinging at your hips, swan dive forward until you let your head dangle, hands approaching the ground, and breathe and settle. Notice your weight distribution and your feet towards the balls of your feet, if anything, not weighted into your heels. Internally rotating your upper thigh and breathing. And then reach both hands towards your left foot for a twist. And if you want to, add your left hand towards the sky and breathe. And then twist both feet, turn both feet towards the left, drop into a lunge in your left knee. And with strength, bring your torso to vertical, drop the back foot. And now let's do eagle arms on the other side. So right elbow is the lower elbow. Wrapping as much as you want to wrap, elbows towards the sky, staying in your lunge. Release whenever you're ready, and let's come into warrior three on this left leg. Hopping in, trying to bring your hips parallel to the ground, your back leg parallel to the ground, doing whatever you want with your arms. And breathing. And if you're up for it, 3 squats on this left leg. 1, 2, 3. And then come on out. Yay. Shake out anything that needs shaking. Well done. And we're going to come down to the ground through a sun salutation. So just turn around. You're now at the back side of your mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, come on down to your belly and stay on your belly. And we'll move into crocodile pose. Crocodile pose is the one where you stack your hands on top of each other, elbows pointed out to the edges, and you put your forehead on the backs of your hands. It's crocodile, and it's called crocodile because crocodiles have weird back legs. And so traditionally, you point your toes out wide. And for most of us, you need to put your ankles wider than your mat to allow your hips to rotate to put your toes pointed out. And you can try that if you want to or not, whatever's more comfortable for you. The main thing about this pose is this sensory withdrawal, meaning because you are focused down towards the ground, you're not being visually stimulated, which means that you can turn your attention inward. And right now, that inward attention might be on your breathing. Breathing into your lower belly, feeling the pressure in the ground as you inhale and the release as you exhale. You might notice sensations in your lower back as you belly breathe as well. One more breath here. And then come on to your elbows, forearms parallel to each other, palms down, and to coming into Sphinx pose. So you don't want to be slouchy in your shoulders. You want to be pressed into your elbows, strong, looking forward. And when you do that, you might feel a sensation or stretch in your belly area, maybe your lower chest area, and maybe pull the skin of your forearms towards your heels to accentuate that even more. Now, you don't want to compress or too much pinch in your lower back, so make sure you adjust or support that, maybe engaging that lower belly to help support your lower back. And breathing. One more breath here. And then we're going to counteract this in puppy or child's pose. And if you go into child's pose, you might consider um, putting your fists in your lower belly, and I like the thumb tuck, um, and leaning over your fists. You don't want your fists underneath your ribs. You want them in that sort of soft belly.
And then breathe. If you're using your fists are in your belly, try to breathe around your fists. Fill out all the spaces around your fists on the inhale. Mm, Notice the relaxation on the exhale. Maybe notice a slight puffing up of your lower back as you breathe in and relax, release. This is good for, abdominal massage, which includes, it's nice sometimes for menstrual cramps if you're suffering. One more breath here. And then on your next inhale, come on out and into seated, knees bent, uh, knees, feet on the ground. And we're going to come into boat pose. Boat pose, your torso and thigh make the boat. Your arms are the rails on either side of your boat. And you might have your hands behind your thighs and support. See if you can bring your feet parallel to the ground. And if you have the strength, so your long spine still, we're not trying to collapse our lower back, long spine still. Maybe you can put your hands parallel to uh, your feet and not hold your legs. And then you can try flowing boat, maybe bend and straighten one or both legs. You can butterfly your arms if that's fun. Flowing boat. And breathe through the challenge. One more breath. And feet down. We're going to come into another seated twist. You can try leaving your right knee bent and straightening the left leg. But if you're not able to sit on your sit bones like this, you might tuck the straight leg underneath your bent leg, and we're going to twist to the right. So either grabbing the bent leg, maybe putting your hand behind you to keep your spine long and give space for your belly. And you can put your elbow on the other side of your knee if you want to. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, twist a little bit more. And keep breathing through our twist. Twists help wring out not just your spine, but the tissues in your torso, the organs. Get things hopefully moving. One more breath here. And go ahead and release. And we're going to switch sides. So either legs straight, particularly if you can sit on your sit bones, or tucking it underneath the other foot, using the left hand as support, either grabbing the left knee or putting your elbow on the outside edge. And breathing, tall spine on your inhales, twist a teeny bit more on your exhales. See if you can belly breathe even in a twist. Go ahead and release and come on to your back home stretch. Let's start in a constructive rest. So just knees bent, feet on the ground, settle in a little bit. Maybe you've flopped your knees in towards each other, or maybe they're just there in a sense of stability. Notice your breathing. Notice what your body feels like compared to where we started. Our last couple of poses are bridge. So let's, bridge is the one where you press your feet into the ground and lift your hips. And this time we're going to hold our lift. So if you know how to roll onto your shoulders, or sometimes it helps to grab your hands underneath your body, see if that helps you with the lift of your bridge pose. But try not to have allow your knees to flop out wide. Keep your knees stacked over or in line with your heels and not wider than your hips. And breathe. One more inhale here. So lift up high and then go ahead and lower. Shake out your hips if that feels good. And then our next pose is called wind relieving pose, which I think is hilarious. Bring your right knee in towards your chest and your left leg straight out at an angle. Wind relieving pose. And you might notice that you need to release some wind. Go ahead and switch knees. So left knee in towards your chest, right knee right straight and at an angle, 45, 60, whatever. Just in an angle. And breathe. And go ahead and put both feet down again. And we're going to make a little flow out of these two poses. So inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lower. Inhale, bring your right knee in, left leg straight. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lower. Inhale, bring your left knee in, right leg straight. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lower. Inhale, right knee in. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left knee in. Exhale, lower. One more set. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lower. Inhale, right knee in. Exhale, lower. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, down. Inhale, left knee in. Exhale, down. Yay. Just bring your knees in toward your chest and rock left and right, but try to get that middle back where you like to have it, when you're rolling left and right. Try to hit that middle back particularly. And then pump your knee, come to stillness in the rock and pump your knees forward and back so you can do a little lower back massage. And then rock and roll up your whole spine at least 3 times. And come up to seated. And we have one more breath pattern before our Shavasana. And this is Kapalabhati breath, which means skull shining breath. And I think the visualization is that you're shining the inside of your skull
as you do this pattern for some of us. And what you do is you're going to forcefully exhale out your nose and let the inhale come naturally. And while you are pushing the air out of your nose, you're also wanting to pull your stomach in or scoop your stomach in. So a little belly pump as well. And as we're just starting out, it's recommended to put your one hand on your belly and one hand underneath your nose to make sure that you're scooping in as you exhale, because sometimes your brain gets it backwards and you don't even realize that you're backwards. So let's try this 3 breaths before we do our, just to see what it feels like. So out your nose, in through your nose naturally, and with a belly pump. Okay, so that's it. Let's see if you can do 20. If you can't, just don't worry about it. But big breath in. When you're done, just release and come to stillness, normal breathing. Notice what it feels like. Do you feel lighter, perhaps lightheaded? What does it feel like in the inside of your skull? Is it a little shinier? Sometimes these breath patterns allow the chatter of your brain to just kind of dissipate for a moment or two. And sometimes not. Just notice without judgment, if possible. And we're going to do another round, another set of 15 to 20, whatever your body feels like doing. If you want to set up the hands, big breath in. Here we go. Come to stillness again. Normal breathing. Notice sensations, pleasant and unpleasant. But can you notice without that sense of judgment? Go ahead and find your favorite Shavasana position. I'm going to come and switch cameras and stay seated. Settle in. Notice what it feels like in your body after our practice and how it might feel different than how we started, though you might not have been paying attention when we started. And see If you can allow your body to be a teeny bit heavier. So often we hold our bodies like a micromillimeter away from whatever we're sitting or lying on. And can you just decrease that distance just a little, ever so slightly? And this practice was all about clearing the heaviness, the stagnancy, and getting things moving. Water, lymph, digestion. And as you go about your day when we're done with class, maybe see if you notice any shifts. It's already time to come out of our 5 minute shavasana. So maybe take a big breath in and let it go. Maybe wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe wrist circles or ankle circles. Maybe a full body stretch. And gently and kindly bring yourself back up to seated. And may the inner light in you reflect the inner light in me. Namaste. Thank you for practicing.